I booked 2,238 appointments in 2024, and here's exactly how I did it. I'm going to show you every single strategy I used, all the tests I ran, and we ran some crazy tests. And one of the craziest tests was AI cold calling. This is one of the first ones we tested this year. It was crazy. It worked kind of okay. I think this was everybody else's favorite. I made a few videos on this over the last year, but when it came to actually getting appointments, it was kind of a bust. Now, I kind of improved it over the year. It was working a little better using some of the strategies I had, but for the most part, it was just really having struggles.
My name is your name, and I work with a team that helps businesses like yours connect with potential clients. We use a combination.
What did you mean by my name is your name?
Oops, my bad. I apologize for the confusion.
I think AI cold calling isn't where people think it is. It's not really going to save your business. So I really want to see it as that. I actually had a ton of people that would book a call with me and they'd be like, hey, can you help me set up an AI cold caller? Literally all my videos were like, hey, you probably shouldn't use an AI cold caller. You probably should just hire a real human being and they'll actually get you better results. And so that's what I would do if I were you. You can hire a cold caller for $3 per hour and they will book you 5 to 7 sales calls per day. It actually works extremely well. I'll show you how I can help you do that at the end of this video. The next one is Facebook Post. I know Facebook is for boomers, but trust me, it is worth the time. Well, I hated Facebook all my life until I realized I could make a ton of money on there, and then I started to love it, okay? I was making like $10,000 in a week on Facebook, and so that's why I really love these strategies. So the first one was a Facebook posting. This is actually how I got my first couple clients on Facebook. You can easily just go into a Facebook group of your target audience. Let's just say you're targeting plumbers. There's plenty of plumber Facebook groups. You just post in there, and you just post your offer, and then you just see if people respond. So here's some of the posts I made that actually got a ton of responses. One of them was, I'm creating a software to scrape millions of emails and phone numbers. Is anyone interested? Right. Other one was, I created a system to send 300,000 cold emails through Go High Level. Anyone interested? Right. And I had 158 comments, right? Which is 158 people saying, yes, I'm interested in this system or this process, right? And so it's 158 people I can now sell to, and they've all raised their hand. This isn't like going cold to 150 people, because all the people that you reach out to cold, only maybe 3% of them want to buy. These are 158 people that just said that they wanted to buy, right? And so it's much easier to close those people. Now, if a Facebook group, usually a lot of them, they'll have like a rule against like trying to promote yourself and they'll kick you out. Also, you don't want to, there's like groups of just a whole bunch of guys in India. Not that there's anything wrong with India, but there's a whole bunch of fake accounts or guys in India, and you're like, these are not plumbers that I want to reach out to, right? And so some of those groups just don't work well, but you want to find a high quality group and just post into there. Again, if they don't allow promotion, I would just see if somebody else is promoting themselves, and then if somebody else is, you could probably just promote yourself, no problem. But if no one else is really promoting themselves, just reach out to the admin and ask if you could pay to post in the group, because trust me, it'll be worth every dime that you spend. And if usually they don't have the value of their post, they don't really know how much you're going to make off of a post. You can make $10,000 off of a post. You can just reach out to them and say, hey, I'll pay you $50, maybe $100 to post on your Facebook group. Would you be open to that? And I'm sure they would be open to that. You know, they don't really make any money off the Facebook group anyways. And so just paying to post on there, and they can actually promote it for you. Obviously, that can work really well for you. Staying in the same lane, Facebook outreach. Facebook outreach worked extremely well for me. I usually would get 2 to 4 sales calls in a day just by doing Facebook outreach, and I just had an automation that would automatically send out messages, and if anybody was interested, they would respond back. And now it depends on your audience. Some people, your audience isn't going to be on Facebook, so I don't recommend doing the Facebook outreach. But if your audience is on Facebook, trust me, if there's Facebook groups with people that you would want to sell to, I would definitely try it. It was my best performing strategy. I got about a 40% close rate from the calls I got from Facebook. Not the most amount of calls, like I said, 1 to 4 sales calls booked per day for myself at least, but I was closing, half of those. So every call I would get, every other one I would close a deal. So, and you don't have to just outreach to Facebook groups. You can do Facebook business pages. If you just look up pest control in Dayton, Ohio, there'll be a whole bunch of pest control pages that come up on Facebook business pages, and you can reach out to them directly. That's how I actually got my very first agency client, and it's making a comeback. A lot of people are actually using it right now, and they're getting a ton of appointments just reaching out to the Facebook business pages. Instagram outreach, posts, and stories. Instagram outreach didn't really work as well for me. It was like hit or miss. I know some people that make $40,000 a month just doing Instagram outreach. That's awesome for them. But for me, all the sales calls I've ever gotten from Instagram were just lower quality. And so I don't really like using it to do cold outreach. But in terms of gaining an audience and actually just posting on my stories, it actually works extremely well. So just doing regular Instagram posts or Instagram stories. I usually will just post a testimonial. Hey, here's how this client got this thing, just like a Discord screenshot. I just do that all the time. And every single time I post one of those testimonials, somebody reaches out to me and says, hey, how do you do that? Or how does that work? Or how can you help me? And so it works really well for me just posting stories. And that can be on Facebook and on Instagram. They work on both, but I usually get a lot more replies on Instagram. And I don't ever really push. I don't try to like grow my audience on Instagram. I don't try to post reels. I kind of do, but I don't really post them to gain an audience. You know, I haven't really tried a hard push on Instagram. And so everybody that follows follows me is just people that watch my videos and then they just went and followed me on Instagram one day. The next one is YouTube, and actually YouTube ads, something I tested this year. Now, YouTube has been my #1 source of appointments. I've been getting a ton of hundreds of sales calls up per month just from YouTube and these videos. And a lot of my other strategies are actually just fed from YouTube. I'll get to that in a second. I've been testing a few things on YouTube, but what I found to work the best, I guess, for any sort of business content is just make search-based content first. So some of my first videos were like, is Seamless AI worth it? Or how to do cold email, stuff like that, right? Things that people would automatically just search, and then your videos will come up over time. So they won't really get views a lot in the beginning, but they'll get a lot of views over time, and that works really well for me, where I'll just make a search-based video, and then I'll try to lead them over to another video, and then obviously I try to do an upsell. On every single video, I try to say, hey, just book a call with me below, or check out my free course. And so if they watch 2 or 3 videos of me, and I've said it 2 or 3 times, and both all those videos are that they watched, then obviously they're more likely to actually take the action. So I try to say in every single video all my upsells or call to actions, you know? Now, it might seem tough to get started with YouTube just because obviously there's a lot of work involved, or you have to keep posting videos for years and years and years. I've been doing this for, I think, a little over 2 years on YouTube, which is this business channel. I've got about 24,000 subscribers. And so it took me 2 years to build 20. It's like, that seems like a long time. Like, all this seems like it's going to take forever. I know, I understand that. But it actually only took me about 3 months of doing just very basic videos. I was barely putting any effort. I was just clicking record, just starting to record. I would just blah on for like 30 minutes and then just cut it down to maybe a 12-minute video. And so a lot of times I won't even cut it down, and I would just upload the video, and it was just me stuttering for 20 minutes straight. And people would watch it, right? And I would get, you know, just a couple hundred views per video, but I started getting like 30 to 60 calls a month just from YouTube within 3 months of just, again, just very simple videos, clicking record and making a very simple thumbnail. You can go to my oldest videos and see all the simple, they look all the same, you know, very simple. Next one is YouTube ads. Is something I tested on a small scale. I just tried it out for a little bit. I created 2 videos that I thought were pretty good in terms of a YouTube ad, right? One of them was actually pretty cool. I thought this was really clever, where if you watched one of my videos and then you just go watch something else, I would put an ad on your video. You watched one of my videos and you didn't even book a call with me. I can help you get 120 appointments per month, no paid ads, no return. I did get a few calls from this, but the cost per call was pretty high. It was like $100 per call. To me, I mean, it's not like that it's not worth it. Obviously, I can still make money at $100 as a cost per call. It was like $100 to $120. $100 per call doing YouTube ads, but on YouTube videos, it's completely free for me, and I get way more calls for completely free. So I was like, you know, I might as well put a little more effort into just regular YouTube videos. But speaking of ads, I've recently also ran LinkedIn ads, and this one I think is actually really underrated for a lot of people. Now, a lot of people try to use like LinkedIn automation tools where we automate messages using like a WeConnect or just Expandy, some sort of software that will automate sending out messages from your account. But LinkedIn keeps limiting how many you can send per day. Now you can only send like 25 messages per day from one account, whatever, or 25 connection requests. You used to be able to do 50. Sometimes you used to be able to do 100 per day, which was crazy. Now that we're down to 20. And the thing is that people will try to mitigate that by trying to create 10 different accounts. Let's create 10 accounts and ID verify all 10. It just gets really hard to keep sending a ton of messages for free on LinkedIn because you keep having to spend money by investing into all these accounts or creating whatever, right? And so with LinkedIn ads, you're kind of, the thing with all the automations that you're going against LinkedIn, or all the automation tools really, you're just going against the platform. They don't really want you to send 50 messages a day. They don't want you to do that. They want everyone to have a good user experience, but they also want you to pay them. And so if I work with LinkedIn, I pay them using their ad platform. Plus I don't create 10 different accounts. They're going to be a little happier that you do that. It's going to be a lot easier for you to get appointments working with LinkedIn rather than trying to work against them, which is creating 10 accounts, trying to do all these automations, which they don't like to do. They like you paying them money. They don't like you creating 10 accounts and trying to send out messages for free. So anyways, what I did, I spent about $500 total. It sent about 2,250 messages. It was about 25 cents per message sent, which I thought was a lot cheaper than I thought it was going to be, right? So I got about 7 booked calls from that. I got a few more after the fact, but they were, you know, lower quality, whatever. But the cost per click was pretty high. It was like $15, 15 something per click. Most people would say like, oh, my cost per click on Facebook is 80 cents, right? But my cost per appointment was $70. So it was cheaper to get a booked call on LinkedIn ads than it was to do on YouTube ads. So YouTube ads was a little more expensive, and it's a little more work on YouTube because obviously there's the audience and all that jazz that you have to do. It's just like any other ad platform, but we have to make a video, and I had to edit the video, right, which is a little more work. On LinkedIn ads, we just have to create a message that we have to send out to them, right, which is a little easier to do. All right, next one, free offers. This one, you know how I said earlier that I get a lot of my booked calls from YouTube, but not directly from YouTube. It's like YouTube feeds my other strategies. Well, this is one of my strategies that YouTube feeds. So I have free offers that I go out all the time. So I recently just came out with a a free offer. Hey, I'll give you hundreds of millions of contacts for completely free. Would you like access to it, right? People give me their email, they give me their phone number, and I give them access to whatever it is. So most of the time, I just lead them to a free course. If you're trying to get 40 appointments a month and you want to automate a few things, I've got a free course in the description below that you can check out. But then after that, obviously, I have an upsell where I say, hey, here's the free course, but if you want me to help you set up these systems and you want me to help you get 120 appointments a month, I will help you one-on-one. You can book a call with me below, right? So the free offer up directly to the upsell. So a really good chunk of my appointments this year, a huge chunk of the appointments was just from the free offer to the upsell up to the booked call. And so that worked extremely well for me. But also YouTube was the biggest factor where I have to make the YouTube videos just to get the people over to the free offer. Now that's the thing. People are like, oh, it's hard to make these videos or hard to do marketing as a whole. All you got to do is just give people what they want for free. Like, what do people want? Try to give it to them for free. And then also say, hey, if you want me to help you, or if you want to don't want to do any of the work, I can help you. And you can pay me for that, right? And so it's just like anything, like if I go to the mall and someone at the Chinese restaurant is trying to give me orange chicken, like obviously I'm at the food court because I want food. And so if you're willing to give me a little bit of free food, I'll probably pay you for more. That's literally all marketing is. Just give them a little bit of free taste of what they want and then sell them what they need, right? Next one was video outreach. This one was actually really insane. I tried this on a few different platforms, Facebook, WhatsApp, and iMessage. I found that iMessage was the most responsive, just reaching out to somebody's phone number works really well. So the video I used was really personalized. I tried to personalize it a ton where I said, hey, I just want to see if I can work with you. I showed their LinkedIn profile, whatever. And that worked okay. It didn't really give me a ton of appointments. I did it one Saturday and I was like, it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. And so I tried something else. It didn't work. So I reached out to my friend, Daniel, who actually gave me the idea. He said, you should just print off a huge photo of them and then just show that photo in the video. And they would obviously have to respond if the photo was in the video, right? So I didn't print off a huge photo. I just printed off a whole bunch of little tiny photos and I sent them a video saying, hey, I just want to see if I can work with you. I print out this photo because I look at it every single day and I say, I want to work with you. And I sent that photo off to about 30, 40 different people. And I think out of the 30, I got like 4 booked calls. And so it was a pretty good conversion, but I think I got 6 or 7 replies total. And I was like, out of 30 people, every single one of them had an iPhone. They actually received the iMessage, so I know it actually went to them. I was surprised I didn't get a 100% response rate, right? Now, obviously, I got a pretty good response rate, a pretty good booked call rate. 30 messages, 4 booked calls is pretty good. But honestly, I thought it would do a ton. Like, if I received a video and someone printed out my photo and sent me a video directly, I obviously would have responded to that. I was trying to do just the best I possibly could to get people in the door, but obviously it didn't work as well as I thought it was going to. The next one I tried was sending out voice notes. This was just basically sending an SMS or even on Facebook or WhatsApp, whatever, just sending a voice note to somebody rather than sending an actual message. And this one actually did work pretty well. I did a few tests. I think the first one I tried, I sent out like 30 or 40 messages. I got like 3 or 4 booked calls, almost the same as like the videos. And the second time I tried the test, I got like 2 booked calls out of 30 messages. It took me maybe 30, 45 minutes total. I actually made a video of me just sitting down doing cold outreach live, and I just sat and just did voice notes for about 45 minutes, and I booked 2 calls out of that. The only problem is you have to do it one by one. There are ways of automating it. It just gets pretty complicated when you automate that stuff. Anyways, the next one was phone spoofing. This one was actually crazy. Okay, there's a thing that you can do on your phone where if I try to call somebody, I can call them. I can call you from your wife's phone number or from your son's phone number, right? Or from your girlfriend's phone number, which is crazy. So if I can find someone that you're associated with, I can actually call you from that number. So I found somebody, I would find people online, and then I would find their wife and find their wife's mobile phone number or their son's mobile phone number, and then I would call them from that number. You can spoof your phone to where it's not actually calling from your phone number. It just looks like it's actually their son's phone number. So when they pull up their phone, it says, your son's calling, you pick up, and then it's me on the other end, or your wife's calling, and then it's me on the other end. This was actually crazy. Now, you don't have to do this every time. I think the better strategy is just to take their phone number and then change one number in their phone number. So if I call you, your number is 4802, and I call you from 4803, and it's like, oh, holy cow, this is like almost the exact same phone number. You're way more likely to pick up. So I was getting more people picking up just by using this phone spoofing strategy. It was a little expensive to spoof every single call. I think I couldn't really find a whole bunch of cheaper solutions. So it might not be worth it in the long run, but I did get a much higher pickup rate. Also this year, I just tested a whole bunch of different types of copy. So for example, we tried interview copy. This one actually worked really well. For saturated niches or niches that are just hard to reach out to, this one works extremely well, where we just say, hey, I just want to see if I can interview you. I'm doing a podcast, or I'm writing a research paper for my school. school, or I'm writing an article, right? Just whatever it is, I want to interview you for some reason, and you just get on the phone with them, you ask them a couple questions, you try to see what their pains and their problems are, and then at the end of the call, you say, hey, if you want, actually, I can help you with some of these things. Would you be open to chat, right? So some of the people that I'm working with right now, we tried a whole bunch of different types of outreach. None of them worked, and then all of a sudden, we just tried doing this interview angle, and now it just works extremely well, where we're getting plenty of booked calls and actually huge closed deals. And these are $8,000 to $10,000 closed deals from cold outreach, just doing this interview copy. So that works really well. Another one was just partnership copy. This is probably one of my favorite scripts now. It's just, hey, I just want to see if I can partner with you. Hey, I just want to see if I can work with you, right? And so that one works really well. I made a whole video of testing every single outreach script and showing you the best ones. I've got like 11 different frameworks that I use that are the best, and so you can watch that video. Obviously, we did cold email, but I usually do it in a completely different way than what everybody else does. A lot of people try to use a Google Workspace account, try to create 20 Workspace accounts, try to warm it up for 2 weeks, all that jazz. That costs a lot more money. It's a lot, obviously more expensive, takes more time, plus it doesn't actually work that well anymore. And so everyone's like trying to crack down on all those platforms. So what I actually found to work a little better is just using like email sending providers. So if you just use like MailChimp or ActiveCampaign, or just use Go High Level's email servers, you can usually get a pretty similar open rate, booked call rate, response rate, positive reply rate, just from using just some of these other email sending providers. I used ActiveCampaign. I got more responses just from using like a $40 ActiveCampaign account than I would spending $100 on instantly, plus $300 on Google Workspace accounts, all that jazz, right? So it's more expensive, takes more time. ActiveCampaign I can set up today, and I can send out emails today. Go High Level, I can send out emails today. You just have to do it the right way. You have to kind of know how to do it cold email through those platforms. But just keep that in mind. It's a lot cheaper to do. It's a lot faster to do, and you get it's the best performing strategy, for the money. So probably the highest converting strategy that I discovered this year was SMS to a call. This one was actually insane. You'll get about a 25 to 30% pickup rate or response rate if you use this strategy. Basically, all I do is I'll send them a text first. I'll say, hey, can I call you real quick? And then I just call them like 10 seconds later. And then I just use the partnership angle as my script. So, hey, I just want to see if I can partner with you. Would you be open to discussing? We have this thing that's working well for us, and blah, 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 blah. This strategy works extremely well. The only problem is that you might not have a ton of time to do it. And so I actually made a video recently of me doing it for like 5 hours straight, or I was testing a whole bunch of different strategies, but this is the one of the strategies I tried. Out of the strategy, during that day, I got like a 50% response rate, and I got a ton of people interested, a ton of booked calls just from doing this strategy. So if you don't have the time to do it, you can hire someone in the Philippines or in Egypt or in South America for $3 to $5 an hour, and they'll usually book you 3 to 5 or 5 to 7 sales calls in a given day just from using this strategy. It works that well. I recently just helped my client Max hire a cold caller, and the cold caller actually booked him 20 sales calls just within this first week of working with Max. So if you want me to help you hire like 1 or 2 or even 10 cold callers, I have a ton of them, hundreds of cold callers on deck ready to go. I will train them on my systems. I will create a script for you, and your cold caller should be booking you a ton of appointments within the first 3 days of working with you. So if you want me to help you hire a cold caller, you can book a call directly with me below. Now this isn't free. Obviously it takes a lot of my time to help you find one of these guys, get them over to you, train them, and create a script for you. So please don't book a call and waste my time thinking you're going to get a cold caller for free or get some advice from me for free. So don't do that. But I guarantee this is going to be actually the cheapest strategy. It's cheaper than ads. It's cheaper than even doing cold email, and it's cheaper than obviously you doing it yourself and spending all day doing it. You just pay them $25 a day, and they'll book you sales calls every single day, right? So if you pay them $25 a day, they book you 3 calls a day. That costs about $8 per sales call that you book. And obviously we can hire a whole bunch more cold callers, and it can happen instantly. We don't have to, with YouTube, we have to wait 3 months before it actually starts working. With cold email, we have to wait 2 weeks before it actually even warms up. But we can do this today. So again, if you're interested, you can book a call below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.